Hey everybody, and welcome back. I really appreciate everybody that's subscribed to the channel, that's watching the channel, and all these different things. Here's the big thing right now. If you like this video, and you should, you need to share it with as many people as you possibly can. Because what we're going to do right now is we're going to discuss the difference between the fundamentals of Hogan's swing and the fundamentals of the modern swing, and why what Hogan discovered is far superior than the modern swing. You might ask you, or I could ask you a question. I'd say, okay, guys, what is the number one thing that you think you need to do to make a golf swing? Or what is the golf swing really all about? Your first answer, kind of like the Matrix movie when Neo's talking to the architect was like, the first answer is going to be pertinent, but it's not going to be the most relevant. So what do I mean by that? Our first response to, what is the objective of what we're trying to do? And it's hit a ball. That's going to be everything. Well, I need to hit the ball from here to there. Okay. But that is the most irrelevant part of the golf swing. Okay. Because what does it come down to? In the movie of The Matrix, where the architect's talking, they get further into the conversation. And then it comes down to a matter of choice. A matter of choice. Do I want to, move my body in a manner that is the modern swing? Or do I want to move my body in a manner in which Hogan swung? There's the choice, okay? But everybody looks at Ben Hogan's swing and they think, oh, it's too hard. It's not, there's no way I can make these shifting moves. There's no way I can make these things because it's too difficult. So then they're like, okay, because everybody's teaching the modern swing, because if you think about it, Hogan, when he wrote the book, 5 Lessons, in my opinion, he was kind of like the grandfather of, or the architect of modern instruction. So then all these golf instructors went through, started understanding the visual of the pane of glass, and they started coming up with all these different ideas. But I'm going to show you right now what the most relevant question is. And you're going to be like, wait a minute, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to you don't even need a club, guys. This is going to be the most educational thing for your mind to understand why Hogan's fundamentals are far superior to the modern swing. Okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to just stand up, get in your posture, kind of like what they teach us in the modern swing. But so the modern swing would be more up here like this. So now what I want you to do is I want you to take the club away, which is really kind of moving down the line. And then I want you to take your trail hand off. I want you to put it across your chest like this. And then I want you to stand up. And then I want you to lift your arm up like this. Okay, so we're here. We've gone there. Stand up. Put your arm up. And you're going to see how that is a 60-degree angle, or very close to. So again, we're here. Modern swing. We're going to pick it up. We're going to put it over here. It's very close to a 60-degree angle. So then what I want you to do is go to the takeaway, go to the left arm parallel, stand up, come back in front of you, and you're going to see that it's a 60-degree angle. So then what I want you to do is go to the first move in the modern swing, left arm parallel, then go to the top. Again, what is that angle? It's 60 degrees. Okay, so then in the downswing, I want you to, pull the hands down like they talk about. But then when you get right there, you'll feel all these loads and everything that they're trying to explain. So you pull the hand down, I want you to stand up, come back to 60-degree angle. So then all of a sudden, it's like I come through here, I hit the ball, I stand up. Now this angle becomes somewhere between 60 and 90. The arms swing by, I stand up, face back over here. It's a 60-degree angle. Okay. Wow. pretty easy to understand the modern swing. That's what's happening in the modern swing, even though people don't realize it. Why is Hogan better? Now, I'm up here and I'm telling you what Hogan did and how Mr. Hogan did all these different things and what he was doing. What Mr. Hogan figured out in his athletic motion is what I'm going to show you now. Okay? So when Mr. Hogan got set up, everything is where it's got to be. So we're going to take the club away like Mr. Hogan did. Now I'm going to put this arm across my chest. I'm going to stand up. What angle is that, guys? It's a 45-degree angle. So then I'll show it to you again. So we're gonna get set up like Hogan. We're gonna do the takeaway. I'm gonna put my arm right there. I'm gonna stand up, come to you. It's a perfect 45-degree angle. So then what did Mr. Hogan do? He goes to the second move here. I stand up, come back to you. It's a 45-degree angle. Okay? And then he goes to the top, gets to the top of the swing, which everybody thinks is flat. I come back to you, put my arm there. It's a perfect 45-degree angle. Okay, so then what? Then as he's coming down and he's making these moves, what angle is that? 45 degrees. I'm coming back through the ball right here before he's ready to let go. There's a 45-degree angle. I come back to impact. Hands kind of, as I tell you, they roll down. But if I stand up, what angle is that? 45 degrees. Then as everybody thinks Hogan's hands are going low left, I stand up, I come back, it's 45 degrees. So what Mr. Hogan figured out was how to move this club head in relationship to the body and in relationship to the arm structure, that he is wielding this club through three-dimensional space, which is all the way around me, at a cubic 45-degree angle throughout his swing. We all know, right? If this is, say this is our flat line, the perfect launch angle, mathematically would be off of this flat line would be a 45-degree angle. So if I hit something on a 45-degree angle, it'll go up, it'll flatline, and then it'll come down. Okay? The modern swing, because it's not coming into the ball at this cubic 45-degree path around you in three-dimensional space, that's the difference with Hogan. But with the modern swing, it's no longer on the perfect launch angle. It's at 60 degrees. So the ball goes up, and then the ball comes down. Now, we've got different lofts on the club and all these different things that help us get that height, help us get it, even if we're doing what Hogan did. It's not every shot we hit isn't going to go this way and flatline. But even with let's say a 56-degree wedge, doing it the way with a 45-degree entry and attack angle, then we're able to say, we know that we're coming in at a 45-degree angle, but the loft on that 56 changes it this way, goes this way, it's going to go like this, and then it's going to come down and land like a butterfly. Okay? This is some of the most advanced, true understanding of why. Okay? Because think of it a different way. In order to achieve this 45-degree arm structure relationship with the body, which now if the club was behind me and the club head's behind me, this 45-degree angle here, like the airplane thing I did, guys, the body and the arm structure are pulling it through to where Mr. Hogan wished he had three right hands. Three right hands, right? Because the reality is what Mr. Hogan figured out, in my opinion, was something far greater than what was written in any of his books. Now, some of you look at me and you're like, well, Chris, when you're setting up like Hogan, your trail foot's turned out a little bit and your front foot's turned out a little bit. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, for me, Mr. Hogan's book was the fundamental understanding for me to find a way to make his fundamentals work. For me. Okay? So I looked at it and I'm like, I will never, no matter what I do, I will never be a clone of Mr. Hogan, nor do I want to be. But what I did want to do is to figure out how do these fundamentals apply to what I'm doing as an individual to become the best golfer that I can be. So Mr. Hogan's book set off a journey, and that journey was, how do I make it tighter? How do I make it more efficient? How do I make it as correct as humanly possible? Okay? Well, for me, when I set up, I get set up and I'm like, okay, if I leave this foot the way that it does, it causes me to laterally move. Because when I make that move, it favors me getting this bump into my right side. But when I open the trail foot up, believe it or not, at 7.5 degrees, in my mind, the left foot is at 22.5 degrees, that equals 30. If you've seen me before, I have talked about we need to get the spine set at a 60-degree relationship to the ground, and we're working on these 30-degree planes that are layered on top of each other. So if I know that I'm working in my brain, the only way I could see it was move the foot out 7.5 degrees, lead foot out at 22.5, that equals 30, that would come back and they would connect under my center of mass in between my feet. Pretty simple. So now we're applying math to some of the things. Now, even though I'm showing you Mr. Hogan's movements created this 45-degree angle that we're able to come in on, okay? But what does it really come down to? If we stand up straight, and you guys have seen me do this, this is the carrying angle of the human body, okay? It is. Because we can pick stuff up, we can do bicep curls, we can do all these wonderful things, right? But if I turn my arms like this, the only way I can do is lift things up. And we've all seen the golf instructors, this is all the golf swing is. This is all the golf swing is. Because they've got their arms like this, because the 60 is moving this way, the hands go up, so the hand is like this now, and it moves like this with the arm. Then as the arm goes up, you will always be on this 60-degree path, which now turns you into an arm swinging type of golfer who lacks rotation, who can flip this with the trail hand as you're coming into the ball, or you can try to hang on to it and push it through and hit a block. There are so many variables that are uncontrollable in the modern swing. There just are. And it's from the simple understanding that as I move the modern swing around, I'm always going to be in a 60-degree relationship with my spine. But if you do what Mr. Hogan did right off the gate, you can see how you're always going to have this 45-degree relationship with your spine. Now, in a lot of the videos that I've done, there's bits and pieces of this and everything else, but I am telling you right now, the masterclass is going to help you, because it is not about me trying to turn you into a clone of Mr. Hogan. It is about you trying to understand the fundamentals of how we get this 45-degree structure at all times to be working through. So I was talking about the carrying angle, right? And the carrying angle in the modern swing, it disconnects from the brain. But in Hogan's swing, it's like this. You are constantly in this 45-degree relationship to your body and the arm structure and the hands. You are constantly in this 45-degree carrying angle in relation to the body that allows us, come through and hit these amazing shots. So like I said, guys, this video is probably, in my opinion, the most important golf video you'll ever see in your life, because it's not about the most pertinent thought. It's about the most what you would think to be pertinent becomes the most irrelevant, because the most relevant thing is, what are we really trying to do? It is not hit the golf ball. It's not. It's what it should be is, how do we hit the go-up ball with the most efficient move possible? And the most efficient move possible creates this 45-degree relationship with the body, the arm structure, the hands, club head, the whole 9 yards. We are able to wield this. That's why the people in the master class are getting better. They're hitting it further. They're hitting it with more accuracy. All these wonderful things. But again, it comes down to a choice. Do you want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, shooting in the 80s, shooting in the 90s, or do you want to start shooting under 80? Do you want to finally be able to know that you can actually get down to an elite level ball striker and have an elite level game? Okay? My job as an instructor has been to stand up here, teach you guys, show you guys all these things. I get a lot of people on the channel that are like, Chris, why don't you hit balls? Okay, there's medical things involved with that, but then there's also my belief, okay? But really the medical stuff outweighs my belief, but I'm going to tell you what my belief is. You will learn more, a lot more, if you just start understanding how to move the body, how the hands and the arms and everything work in relationship to the body. And then you go through and you do these reps and you get all these things working and you're making dry swings in super slow motion with negative reps. And then you start to learn and your brain starts to go, that's what I want to do. Then from there, you progress to a driving range. And then from there, you work on it. And you're like, that's what I was feeling at the house when I was doing the reps. Here's the result. Okay, it's a little off. I'm not getting my turn. I'm leaving it out to the right. I'm pulling it a little bit left. Go back. Start reviewing what you're doing. And without a club, you're making the motions. And then you put a club in your hand. And then you start making the motions. And you start training your body to get in sync with what your true intent is. And your true intent is to get your subconscious and your conscious on the same page so that you can make a repeatable motion. When you take this information that I've been sharing with you and you immediately go to the driving range, you're trying to feel something that you're changing something in your swing and you're like, okay, I'm going to go hit balls. I'm going to apply this and go from there. And the results may not be good. Some of you stick with the bit. Some of you abandon it. But it's just because you've got to learn. You become your own teacher. But you have to have the right plan. You have to have the right approach. And you have to understand what we are really trying to do. And what we're really trying to understand and do in Mr. Hogan's swing is to have this 45-degree relationship, arm structure, wrist, hands, to the body. To the body. Okay? And when you can understand that, the possibilities of you becoming an elite level ball striker start to become real. When you're trying to figure everything out on the 60, because I'm showing you, this is where they get to, whole arm structure goes right, and let me do it right because that's Hogan. But if I'm taking the club down, I get up, I come back to you, it's at a 60-degree angle. And when you move this down the 60-degree angle, you will automatically feel, oh my God, I'm not rotating anymore. And what I mean rotating is in the core, the upper body, the lower body. Because when I'm pushing something further away from me, my body responds and shuts down the rotation. But if I do it like Mr. Hogan did, and I'm moving in these very tight concentric circles, is the way that Mr. Hogan talked about it, but they're not. They're not. That's what it shows itself as. It shows itself as these concentric circles. But everything that I am showing you guys is how to move inside that concentric circle, which produces these basically straight lines, which is kind of hard for people to understand. But when your body can understand these things, and what you understand your true intention to be is this 45-degree path with the body, the arm structure of the club, and I am keeping it in my carrying angle as I come around, it is going to improve your game. Now, I have not once stood up here and kind of showed you, hey, this is how you do it, this is how you do it, this is how you do it. Go to the masterclass, check it out. I give bits and pieces of it throughout the different things because I'm talking on different sections about the swing, okay? But you have to start figuring out my intent. What is your intent? Is it to swing your whole life on the 60 and flip it, hold on to it, whatever, because the variable is so great? Or is it to say, I'm going to stay in this 45-degree carrying angle throughout my entire swing and have balance, have raw power, have more power that you've ever understood in your life, have the accuracy that you need? Because I am telling you guys, the storm is coming. And when people start realizing you do have a choice, you can keep doing the same thing you're doing, following the same instructors that you're following. And every single one of those instructors, they are manipulating something when they're teaching a modern swing. You don't believe me? Go listen to some of Mr. Cohen's videos. In some of his videos, he says every single tour player out there is manipulating the golf swing at one point or another. One point or another, okay? The modern golf swing is difficult. It doesn't make sense to your brain because you are never getting anything into this 45-degree launch angle in relationship to the body like Mr. Hogan did. But when you can start doing it and you understand there's reasons that I tell us to get the spine set up in a 60-degree relationship to the ground. There are reasons that I tell us to work on 30-degree planes. Those reasons are, if you just do simple math, 60 and 90 to create a 90-degree relationship between these planes with my spine. So now I know, for me in my golf swing, I am just working these 90-degree relationships with the movements of my body that allow me to do what's going on. And like I said, my path has not been to be a clone of Mr. Hogan. My path was, how can I become more efficient? How can I make it tighter? How can I make it better? Because even like Hogan, Bellhorn had a really good golf swing, but what did he say? Whoever can make the tightest circle is going to win. Look it up. Look it up. This is reality, guys. Our intention should be, how do I move my body, my arm structure, the club head? How do I move everything on this perfect 45-degree launch angle and the totality of the three-dimensional space that I occupy? Most of the modern golf swing only sees the front half of what should happen. Think about it. Here's the 60, pick it up, go from here. You never get the depth in your backswing because everything is in front of you. Everything is in front of you. But when you can start understanding this is a movement around the body and all these different things. Now, a lot of people think, oh, Mr. Hogan's swing is so flat, right? Think about this. There is no, and this is what really screws up a lot of people, and then everybody hangs on to it, and they're like, no, this is what the modern swing's taught. You got to get your hands above your shoulder plane and drop them down. Well, I'm telling you right now, if you can just forget it, there is one plane, and it is your shoulder plane. And when you move your body and get in these 45-degree, angular structure, if you will, when you get to the side of your body, you're going to feel like, if I'm here and I go, oh, I want to pick this up, you will not have an urge to want to pick it up. It's so connected that you're like, oh, I'm not going to pick it up. And then when you go to the top, you're going to start seeing how this left arm has a relationship of moving across the chest. Just like Mr. Hogan said what he felt. The left arm is just moving across the chest because that is exactly what's going on. If you do not move it this way, if you do not understand the fundamentals, which I'm on this channel trying to help everybody understand, if you do not move it, you can't pick your hands up. But if you move it correctly, you get depth. You get depth in the back of your backswing. instead of picking it up, getting it on. Then your brain's going, oh my God, that's not the launch angle. Let's drop it down, swing out to the right, all this minutia that everybody's trying to get you to understand. Okay? I have spent my entire adult life trying to figure this out, trying to figure out the maze of complex movements and how to simplify them. And even some of the videos I make on this channel, they're not simplified, but they are detailed instruction on how to get you to feel certain things. Because I promise you one thing, everybody says feel isn't real, okay? And this is in the modern swing. Everybody says feel isn't real. But I'm going to tell you right now, you start doing it the way I'm teaching you. You start understanding the fundamentals. You start understanding what this subjective is. Feel becomes instantly real, okay? And just like in that movie, 7 Days of Utopia, right? See it, feel it, trust it. If I can see what I want to accomplish, if I can feel how to accomplish what I see, then I can trust what I'm going to take on to the golf course, okay? And when I told you I've been doing all this stuff for 30-something years now, it's kind of like in The Legend of Bagger Vance where Will Smith says to Matt Damon, you got to seek it with your soul, Juna. Right. And he's right. Because when golf is as important to you as it is to me, you will start seeking the truth. And just like in life, the truth will set you free. Because once it does, you now have a choice, just like in when the architect was talking to Neo in the Matrix. The problem is choice. So you make a choice to keep doing this, or you're going to make a choice to start doing this. It's totally up to you, but I'm telling you, one is better than the other. All right, guys, hope this video helped. You know, make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, share this video with as many people as you can, because what I'm telling you, if you just logically think about it, you're going to start getting on the right path. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video.